Yes, Ira Addis, Precinct 2. I have a question about this development in relation to any help it will bring to the affordable housing crisis in Amherst. I mean, I personally, don't know enough about that area to know whether this is a great idea or not. I'll rely on the residents of that area who may have concerns about it to mention it. But certainly the people who own this property, when it gets rezoned, are going to develop it. When they're going to develop it, they're not going to develop it so that they lose money. They're going to make money. And one of the issues that I've heard repeatedly, even in this brief town meeting, is our concern that when new development comes in, our plans to try and work things out so that in some way or another we are improving the housing, the affordable housing stock in Amherst. So my question is, at this point, because I don't know, do we have laws and zoning laws that state that if $3 million worth of development goes in there, a certain percentage goes to Amherst's affordable housing stock, either directly or through the fees that I've heard talked about?
Yes, Mr. Stutman.
Greg Stutman, Planning Board, Co-Chair of the Housing and Sheltering Committee, to address Mr. Addis's last point. Zoning of that type, inclusionary zoning, is actually before this session of town meeting.
Yeah, I'm close to the microphone, and so
Sure.
talk a little slower.
Absolutely. So to address Mr. Addis's last question about whether the town has zoning requirements that would require a developer to provide affordable housing, it's actually before this session of town meeting, Article 24, inclusionary zoning. So it's something that is going to be considered. And as to the question of the impact of this proposal under Article 25, the Housing and Sheltering Committee voted unanimously to support Article 25, although there's not a stipulation that we provide what's called capital A affordable housing. That is housing that's affordable to those at 80% or less of the area median income. Our current definition in Amherst of affordable housing includes those earning up to 120% of area median income. And for this reason, that this development could provide such housing, the Housing and Sheltering Committee voted to endorse it.
Thank you. Mr. Tucker.
As a point of information, in the Village Center Business District to which this is proposed to be rezoned, an apartment complex or a townhouse complex would be by special permit under the current zoning. And under the current zoning, anything that included more than 10 units would have to contribute 10 to 12% affordable units, even as things stand. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks. I see plenty of hands.